Hello, hello. I hope you're doing okay today. The energies here are massive. What I wanted to bring into conscious awareness is what I call spiritual bypass. Spiritual bypass is something that's happening in the spirituality community, and it's being taught as a spiritual practice or as a way of coping with current energies. But it basically asks us to give it away to God or give it away to some higher thing, but doesn't give us the tools to actually deal with the energies that are trapped in us, the situation that created the energy. So we end up in this situation where we're like kind of holding it out for spirit or God or whatever to handle it and to deal with it. But at the same time, we're not completely in trust that spirit is doing it because we've done this in the past. So we end up in this kind of like no man's land of handing stuff off to be transmuted, cleared, whatever, where still the root of the issue is still within. There's a pain, there's a wound, there's a trauma, there's some emotion that's going on inside. And rather than dealing with our strong emotion, which is a part of us, and maybe talking to our inner child that maybe has some wounds and pain, we're instead just saying, okay, here, God, let's take this. It's been handled. You'll handle it. I'll be okay. We'll figure it out. And then we're going to somehow kind of levitate to this new awareness and new understanding. Well, that works if you put God above ourselves. So we put God on a pedestal that he's going to handle all these things. But what we're forgetting is that we're all part of God. We're all part of Source. We're all part of the collective. We're all part of Spirit, whatever you want to call that piece. But we're parts of God that are living an experience here on the planet. So if we put the power of healing, of dealing with something that's going on outside of ourselves, and we lift it up and then we expect it to be handled, we lose our conscious awareness of what's underneath. We try and whitewash it. It's kind of like paint the wall because there's graffiti on it or something we don't like, and just pretend it isn't there. And what you're going to find happens is it's just going to come back in another form at a later date, and you're going to be sad or mad or projecting on somebody else, and it never really quite clears itself up, which is to kind of a darkness side. It's been created to build this into the spiritual communities, create gurus, create people that have wounds and teach from their wounds and create more suffering in other people because they get other people to think that they're better than them or have all the knowledge or whatever. But really, the only guru, the only person that we're ever going to get to save us or fix us or help us is ourselves. And if we can keep this spiritual bypass that I talk about to a minimum, where we're not handing stuff off for the Galactic Federation of Light or Spirit or God or whatever to fix things for us or to save us from all this kind of stuff, and then we take instead into understanding, sorry for the sirens, take into our personal understanding that we have to get okay with it first. We have to deal with the energy, deal with the sadness, deal with the inner child that's angry, deal with the part that we've locked off that's now showing up and causing this pain in our heart, maybe emotions coming up, stuff that's like freaking overwhelming us, smashing us wide open right now, and just laying down or kneeling down, put your hands in front and just pray for God to take it. There's a place for that, but we also have to have this place where we're part of God. We're part of the solution. We are unraveling in our minds, in our hearts, in our experience to start to change the reality that created this thing. So somebody spoke out against something I mentioned yesterday about prices going up and all this kind of stuff, and how there was anger inside of me, and I expressed that in a constructive way to the people that we're in the store. How else do I have a way to communicate to the company without stating that back to the persons involved? And yes, they'll carry it back. Some people may say it's projecting on them or whatever, but they're representatives of the company. If you can't put it back to the person that's the arm's length person, we end up bypassed as well. We can't deal with this. Well, if enough feedbacks comes back from the customer and said they're not coming back, guess what? We make a change. We insert that into the reality. We're no longer bypassing it saying, hey, it's at some leadership level that I can't see, or my government or whatever. And we start to say, with our energy, say, no more. I'm not bypassing this anymore. I'm not saying I don't have the power to do it. I'm saying I do have the power to do it inside of me. And if I don't speak about it and I don't speak openly about it, and that also releases the anger, the frustration, we're a bottled cork when we're bypassed, like a bottle with a cork in it. If we're bypassed, the steam builds up and we're just waiting for somebody to vent on. And unless you have the tools, you can't deal with it. But if your steam bubbles, guess what? That little hole in the top of the tea kettle, it makes a whistling sound when too much has come up. When we're not bypassed, which means that hole is open or the whole lid is open on the kettle, we all of a sudden let off in a constructive way the energy to the universe of what we need to do. So if we take some self-responsibility, not say, hey, it's beyond me and it's too high up or whatever, and start speaking openly and say, I don't allow that. I don't want that in my universe. And then talking to other people, find out they don't want that in the universe. And then saying, hey, we're not going to let this continue. And it's not going to war, or it's not a letter writing campaign or whatever. We're talking about energy here. We are calling out the darkness, the things that are no longer serving us, and saying, this is not good. This is not worth continuing. And the more of us that make that choice and say, no more, no more. And you're literally chiding a little child of energy that's just trying to take everything in the sandbox, steal all the money, make everybody under control. No more. So where's your energy? Instead of bypassing and saying, I can't deal with that because it's way too above me, start to speak out and say, hey, this isn't good. This isn't realistic. Portion sizes shouldn't decrease with price change. And people shouldn't be changing 34, 40, whatever percent. And there's no frigging excuse to it unless they state it. And you have to, if you're going to change your price and it's going to go up, you should be responsible for validating that, showing that to the public. Hey, fuel prices have went up. This has happened or whatever. But no, people just do it because they can, because not enough people have said no. So where's your no? Instead of bypassing, instead of letting it be somebody else's problem or it's going to fix itself or let God do it or whatever, start speaking out. And I'm not saying railing away or hurting people or whatever. Just no more. No more. My energy says no more. My money has value. It's being deflated by a bunch of people that I have no control over, but my money has value. My time has value. My world deserves abundance. I shouldn't be having to scrimp and save on groceries because somebody concocted a war and did all these things. It's bullshit. So stand up, no longer bypassing, no longer letting it be above you, and speak out and say in your energy right here and right now, say, no more. I want freedom. And state it. And that's going to be what changes reality. It's going to shift the timeline so fucking fast because the power of our emotion, the power of our energy, etc., is not going to be bypassed into feeling bad and I can't touch this and I can't deal with it. No fucking more. The power is there. This reality will change with you no longer bypassing your energy. You're giving it up to other people and people that are put on pedestals and all this kind of stuff. We don't even know we're doing it. I'm just saying, how does it feel? You feel like shit. You're unhappy all day long when you're bypassed. When you're lit up and saying, no freaking more, everything changes. So please look into where you're bypassed. And you're probably going to be the places where you're angry and you're frustrated and you don't feel you have a choice and you don't feel you can do anything. You can do something right here and now. Just say with me, no more. I want freedom. This timeline, this bullshit will no longer continue. This control, this elite, this cabal, this whatever. No more. Boof. Done. Declared. No longer bypassed. Your full and complete power coming streaming out the top of your head is going to make change. And it's going to speed this up so fast. So where you bypass, go look at it. Consider what I've just said, and you're going to be surprised. And if you see other people bypassing, send them in this video, because we need to get out of bypass mode and we need to get into choice mode. So try it. I love you. I hope this helps. We'll talk to you soon.